September 15th, 2023. Friday evening. I walked through the door at exactly 7:47 p.m. Victoria was cooking in the kitchen, but something was off. Normally, music would be playing. She'd talk to me, ask questions about my day. That evening she was silent. Plus her perfume was different. New perfume? I asked, deliberately using an indifferent tone. Oh yes. A friend recommended it, she said, avoiding eye contact. First red flag. Over our 15-year marriage I had learned Victoria very well. When she lied, she would touch her left hand to her hair and avoid eye contact. That evening she did both. But I didn't act hastily, because I wasn't one of those ordinary people who give emotional reactions. I was the type who observes, analyzes, then takes action. Week 1. Silent observation. The following week I began observing Victoria carefully. I started recording details. Monday, post-work phone call. When I went to the kitchen, she ended the conversation. They were calling from work, she said, but the tone in her voice wasn't work conversation. Tuesday, after showering, she checked her phone. She hid the screen from me. Then she went to the bathroom and stayed inside for 10 minutes. Wednesday, she came home late. I was stuck in traffic, she said, but I knew her route. There wouldn't be traffic at that hour. Thursday, new lingerie. I thought to myself, this isn't for me. Friday, she said she was going out with work colleagues. Her location was off on Instagram. Every day small details were accumulating, but I still didn't accuse or question her, because I'm a strategist. Making premature moves is stupidity. Week 2, technological investigation. The second week I brought technology into play. I examined Victoria's phone bill. Since it was from the company account, I had access. The number that caught my attention, +1555 XXXXX. This number had been called 47 times in the last 2 weeks. The call durations were getting longer. The first calls were 2-3 minutes. The last calls were 25-30 minutes. I researched the number, Marcus Roberts. On LinkedIn he appeared as the owner of a small construction company. He had no connection to Victoria's sector. Second red flag. But I still didn't take action, because there's a difference between suspicion and proof. I was collecting proof. Week 3, physical evidence. Victoria's behavior was now becoming careless, even when trying to mask it. The foolish woman thought she was deceiving me. Monday morning. Cologne smell in the laundry basket. Men's cologne, different from what I used. Tuesday evening, hotel card in her wallet. Grand Palace Hotel, a luxury hotel. She had no business reason to be there. Wednesday, GPS history in the car. Grand Palace Hotel, visited 3 times. I noted the dates. Thursday, WhatsApp message came to her phone. Someone named M. Message, same time tomorrow. Victoria quickly closed the phone. Friday, condom pack in Victoria's bag. We didn't use condoms in our house because Victoria had her tubes tied 3 years ago. Now there was certainty, not suspicion. But I still didn't confront her, because I wasn't one of those pathetic men who have emotional outbursts. I was the type who makes plans. Week 4, first strategic move. I began researching Marcus. LinkedIn, Instagram, company records. The man's profile was emerging. 35 years old, divorced, small construction company owner, 20 employees, medium-level financial situation, 2 relationship scandals in the past. He wasn't Victoria's type actually, or at least not the Victoria I married's type. But people change, especially the two-faced ones. That week I made my first strategic decision. I would hire a private detective. Private detective, first contact. David Thompson, an ex-police officer with 25 years of experience. Came with references, trustworthy. Do you have concrete reasons for suspecting your wife? He asked in our first meeting. I don't suspect, I said coldly. I know, I just want it documented. Thompson was surprised. Most of his clients were emotional, helpless men. I was different. What kind of service do you want? Everything. Photos, audio recordings, expense reports, meeting places, conversation topics. Any kind of evidence that will hold up in court. I understand. The fee doesn't matter. Quality of work matters. I made the first payment. $5,000. Money meant nothing. Being wronged meant everything. Detective reports. The truth emerges. First report. Week 1. Victoria and Marcus meet on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Meeting place, Grand Palace Hotel, room 208. Duration, average 2 to 3 hours. Marcus reserves the room with his own card. Second report. Week 2. Photos, walking hand in hand, kissing, entering the hotel. Audio recording obtained from Marcus's car. Victoria, my husband doesn't suspect anything. He's a stupid man. Marcus, I can't wait for the day we escape to Paris. When I listened to that audio recording, my expression didn't change, because I already knew everything. I had just received confirmation. Third report. Week 3. Financial report. Marcus spent $15,783 in the last 3 months. Source of spending. My company card. Victoria gave Marcus the company card. Expense categories. Luxury meals, hotels, jewelry, perfume. This last report increased my anger. She hadn't just cheated on me, she had cheated with my money. This was no longer personal insult, it was economic sabotage. Fourth report, week 4. Victoria met with a lawyer. Attorney Sarah Mitchell. Subject, divorce case. Victoria is researching alimony and asset division matters. Making marriage plans with Marcus. This last report was the final piece of the puzzle. Victoria wasn't just cheating on me, she was also planning to divorce me and marry Marcus. And of course she was aiming to take half of my financial assets. Psychological analysis. At this point I tried to understand Victoria's motivation, because understanding your enemy is the first step to defeating them. Victoria's profile. Complaining life is boring for the last 2 years. Constantly sharing luxury lifestyle posts on social media. Looking for adventure. Marcus's profile. 3 years older than Victoria. Appears experienced. Weaker financial situation than mine, but has a free lifestyle. Gives Victoria excitement. Victoria's reason for choosing me. Security. Money, status. Her reason for choosing Marcus. Excitement. Passion. Adventure. Classic midlife crisis. But this didn't excuse what she did. Week 8. Developing counter-strategy. After 2 months of quietly gathering evidence, I began developing my counterattack plan. Legal consultation. I met with attorney Dr. Michael Sterling, one of the country's best divorce lawyers. Your adultery evidence is very strong, he said. In this case, she can't receive alimony. She might even have to pay compensation. I don't want compensation, I said. I want revenge. Within the legal framework, of course, he added with a smile. Of course. Financial protection. I had the company cards cancelled, but didn't let Victoria notice. The system would automatically reject them. Victoria would learn this while she was with Marcus. It would be more effective. I reviewed my assets. House, cars, company shares, bank accounts. I put them all under protection. Psychological warfare. Victoria's weakest point. Her pride. Marcus's weakest point, his financial situation. I developed a plan that would hit both simultaneously. Week 10, final preparations. After learning Victoria's divorce plan, I prepared accordingly. Surprise 1. I met with Victoria's lawyer. Without Victoria's knowledge, of course. I told attorney Sarah Mitchell about Victoria's real situation. The woman was shocked. My client didn't inform me, she said. Now you're informed, I said. If you continue with this case, I'll file an adultery lawsuit. You know the outcome of that case is certain. Attorney Sarah Mitchell called Victoria and said she was withdrawing from the case. Surprise 2. I announced that I was discussing business with Marcus's company. Victoria was very happy. She told Marcus, my husband is going to do business with your company. Marcus was naturally happy. He was expecting a big business deal. Surprise 3. I organized a Christmas dinner that the family would attend. I told Victoria, I have a special surprise. She also told me, I have one too. We were both smiling, but for different reasons. Week 12. Final discoveries. Victoria was no longer being careful at all. She thought she had completely deceived me. End of November. I listened to Victoria's phone conversation through illegal but effective methods. Victoria, I'll give him the divorce papers on Christmas night. Marcus, in front of his family? Victoria, yes, I'll humiliate him. He bored me for years. Now it's his turn. Marcus, then we'll go to Paris immediately. Victoria, yes, darling. Our new life will begin. I smiled while listening to this conversation. Victoria's plan fit perfectly with my plan. Beginning of December, I had a business meeting with Marcus. The man thought he would be a business partner in the future. Your wife is a wonderful woman, he said with that stupid grin. She really is, I said, looking into his eyes. Very loyal, very honest. Marcus had relaxed. He thought I didn't suspect anything. Mid-December, I found plane tickets in Victoria's new bag. December 25th, New York, Paris, for 2 people, business class, naturally bought with my money. This last discovery completed my plan. December 24th, confrontation day. When Christmas evening arrived, everything was ready. Victoria's family, my family, children, everyone was at the table. When Victoria came with the envelope in her hand, there was a triumphant expression on her face. She was waiting for the moment she would humiliate me. But when that moment came, I was more prepared. Surprise time has come, I said as I stood up. Victoria was surprised. According to her plan, I should speak first. Actually, the surprise is mine, she said, her voice trembling slightly. Then you start, I said, smiling. I'm a patient man. Victoria held out the envelope. The divorce papers inside fell onto the table. I want a divorce, she said, her voice loud and dramatic. The family was shocked. No one expected it. I just smiled. Very nice, Victoria, I said calmly. I also prepared a surprise for you. I opened my laptop and connected it to the television. There are some things I want my family to know too. Victoria's face began to turn pale. The first photo appeared on the screen. Victoria and Marcus, hand in hand at the hotel entrance.
Second photo, romantic dinner. Third photo, going up to the hotel. Audio recordings came. My husband is a stupid man. Financial reports, $15,783 in expenses. Paris tickets, December 25th. Each piece of evidence was destroying Victoria's plan. Finally, I took out the divorce papers. The real papers. Victoria, I'm giving you the divorce you want, but on my terms. I threw the papers on the table. Divorce due to adultery. No alimony. No asset division. There is compensation. Victoria had collapsed. Marcus was trying to escape. Marcus, I said, holding the door. Our business meeting isn't over yet. Victoria. That evening, Victoria's plan backfired. Instead of humiliating me, she humiliated herself. The family looked at Victoria with disappointment and shame. I reported Marcus to the police for credit card fraud. I threw Victoria out of the house. I gave her 24 hours to pack her things. When I returned home that night, I thought my 12-week plan had worked perfectly. I hadn't acted emotionally. I had acted strategically, and I had won. Because I never lose. I'm always smart enough to be 2 steps ahead.